I'm gonna do a video of Henry. Henry is a dog that's here for some behavioral issues, and the behavioral issues he's actually experiencing is very common amongst pet owners, believe it or not. Maybe not to the degree that Henry displays his behaviors, but I would say probably over 75% of the dogs that come in here have some degree of his issues. So Henry is here because he gets a little cruddy if he doesn't want to do something that he's being asked to do, or if he wants something. Like if he's not controlling the environment, he gets a little cruddy. And what I mean by cruddy, he is barking, he is lunging, and he has even escalated to biting. A good example, the main issue for Henry is he gives his dad issues within the house. He won't even let his dad come leash him or take him on walks because Henry doesn't want to, and he acts just kind of like a brat and just being cruddy over it. This is day 2 with Henry. Just from hanging out with them and spending time with them, it is stemming from fear for Henry's case. Sometimes this could be a genetic induced behavior. Sometimes this can be a learned behavior, or sometimes it is just an emotional response. But what ends up happening when we give in, Henry's obviously an adult now, is when we start giving in, this starts very, very small. It starts so freaking small. It will be, so let's go use the leashing example. It will start as, oh, I don't want to go on a walk, I'll put on the brakes. And we're like, screw it, you don't want to go on a walk? We go home, we put the dog, they can do whatever they want in the house. So the dog's like, aha. So if I do this, my owner responds to it and I get what I want. Okay? So next time you go on a walk, the dog puts on the brakes and you're like, like you didn't walk very far because it got shorter, right? Maybe they put on the brakes at the end of the mailbox. You're like, no, come on. And the dog is putting on the brakes. Now the dog's like, oh, this didn't work last time. This worked last time, but it's not working now. Let me escalate my behavior. Meaning, maybe now they are alligator rolling at the end of the leash, rolling around, jumping up in the air, flailing about. Or maybe they're coming up the leash, meaning they're coming up, barking, lunging, and trying to bite you. So then you're like, oh, wow. So then you're like, okay, maybe you really don't want to walk. We put the dog away, right? Next day, it gets shorter. The dog doesn't even want you to leash him in the house. You go to leash him, the dog's like, yeah, screw you. I'm going to growl, lunge, and bite you, right, if you try to leash me. And we're like, whoa, right? And we're like, okay, screw it. We're not even going to bother with it. Like, it's not worth the fight. So then the dog's like, aha, I don't have to do this at all. And you see how these little reinforcements just keep escalating? So now you need to go to the vet. Now you're wrestling your dog, putting the leash on. It's a whole freaking battle. And then now you get to the vet. Now you're creating negative associations everywhere else. So this all could have been mitigated about just working your dog through, not allowing your dog to dictate your schedule or what they're doing and what they're not doing. And I'm not saying like dictate everything they freaking do. I don't do that, and I really don't believe in that. I'm saying if you need your dog to do something, or you're in the middle of an activity doing something with your dog, see it through. Don't give in. Because if you give in, you start adding more to that fear. You start adding more to that anxiety. You don't teach your dogs any life skills. It's like a kid who started baseball and just wants to quit because they rather play a video game. No, make them see it through. Same for our dogs. A lot of behaviors I see starts with this. And honestly, the food bowl is the perfect example. Like we leave the food bowl out because the dog doesn't want to eat. They pick through the day. They pick through the day because you leave the food bowl out, and now you feel bad because they're not even touching their kibble, and you're giving them chicken or salmon or whatever the hell you're eating off the table. So like, no crap, they're not going to eat their dog food. You got to pick up the food bowl. Anyway, just little things that your dog dictates should be on like your schedule. You should not be catering to your dog. It's a partnership. You meet your dog's needs. You make sure they have fun. You make sure they're mentally clear. You make sure they're physically fit. Like you meet the dog's needs. And if you don't, that's a whole nother story. But that is your basic job, right? Your dog then needs to meet your needs, which is not battling you and manipulating you every 2 seconds. And don't think manipulating like the dog has this whole plan. Like take it for face value, okay? So everything out of this 5-minute video, you dictate your dog's schedule.